You're watching this video because you may be thinking about selling your property for cash quickly. My name is Jankowitz. I'm a real estate broker focused mostly on Cambridge, Somerville, and surrounding towns. In this video, I'm going to quickly break down all the reasons why you may consider selling for cash, and then a lot of the reasons that you may not be thinking about why selling for cash often is a really bad idea for a seller. All right, let's get right into the video. So there's four main reasons why selling for cash may be a good idea. The first one is around certainty. Generally, if you have an all cash, no contingency offer, where it's just a straight cash offer, that means that your deal is going to close. You don't have to worry about a bank being involved, which means you don't have to be worried about the property appraising. You don't have to worry about financing contingencies. And the result is that at a very high rate, the deal will close. There's very little things that can stop the deal from closing. So there's a high level of certainty that the deal will close. So that is a positive. The next is speed. An all cash deal generally should be closing in a matter of weeks. And they often have flexibility if they're a cash buyer, and they can work with you. If you need longer than that, you can take months if you want. If you need to close in a week and a half, they can often do that. So if speed is very important to you, with cash, you can close much quicker. Compare that to a traditional mortgage, and you're looking at 45 to 60 days, so a month and a half to 2 months. That doesn't include potential snags in the deal regarding financing or other potential issues with inspections that could delay that deal. The other thing that can be nice when it comes to cash deals is the as-is aspect. If it's truly an all-cash, no contingency offer, that means there isn't an opportunity for the buyer to go in with an inspector, ask for all these changes, renegotiate. They often will take the property as is. If you have a lot of junk in the house and you don't want to deal with it, you have a lot of furniture, you don't know how to get rid of it, oftentimes you can get that property off your hands without doing any work. So that is a positive. And the last one is there are some people that are just extremely private. They don't want the general public in their house. They don't want open houses. They don't want anyone to be snooping around for whatever reason. And oftentimes when you're dealing with an all-cash offer, you can get a couple people in over a couple days. You get offers and you're done. So if you're very focused on privacy, a cash offer can be a positive. Now that I've gone over the benefits, I think it's extremely, extremely important that, in my opinion, in the vast majority of cases, the better route to go is not to do an all-cash offer off-market, but instead to put the property on the market. And let me go over the main reasons why. Number one, and probably at the top of the list for me, is equity. When you are selling a property off-market to an all-cash buyer quickly, usually these are going to be developers or wholesalers. And the name of the game for all developers and wholesalers, and I know because I've worked with them, is to get a deal way under the value of their home. Typically, we're talking 30% of the value of your home. Sometimes it can be less, maybe 5-10%, but more frequently it's 10, 20, 30%. And at the price points I'm looking at for $1 million houses, we're talking about leaving multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table by going this approach. So you need to be aware of that. The second thing is the bait and switch. And I've seen this unfortunately happen before, where basically what happens is a buyer claims they're a cash buyer, they put in an offer, they tie a property under agreement, and then they try to renegotiate. They say, oh, I need to quickly look at the property one more time and bring someone else back and bring my contractor back. Oh, I didn't realize there was these issues. And now all of a sudden that $1 million offer gets knocked down to $950 and $900 and $850. And before you know it, they've knocked off a ton of money off of what they originally promised you. I see this all the time. So you have to be aware that some of these people are not acting necessarily in good faith, and they're planning to get you locked up in a contract and then switch things up on you. The next thing is the wholesaler trap. So there's a lot of people out there that are wholesalers. You may not have heard of the term, but basically what that means is someone is going to say, hey, you have $1 million house, I'll buy it cash for $800,000. In reality, they have no intention of closing on that property. They're going to sign a contract with you for $800,000 in this example. Then they're going to go around and they're going to try and convince someone else to buy that property from them and sell the contract that they have under agreement with you to that new person for, say, $850,000. They'll pocket $50,000. The other person has a great deal. You have to really look out for this because what can happen? Well, a wholesaler can shop around for months on end and never get the deal closed. Also, now you're going to an agreement with a third party, which may or may not be trustworthy. You likely know very little to nothing about them. The next thing is going to be minimal buyer exposure. When you put a property in the market, you're exposing it to many thousands and thousands and often tens of thousands of people. You're getting lots of views. You're getting everyone who might be interested in your property to look at it, which in my experience generally nets the highest possible sales price and the best possible terms. If you are going with a cash buyer, you're talking to one person who likely is not going to be the person who's going to give you the best price and the best terms. So again, you're almost certainly leaving a lot of money on the table because you're not exposing your property to the most amount of buyers. So you need to just understand that. Another thing that happens a lot is someone will say, I am going to give you a great offer on your price. And there's no agent fees. You don't have to deal with a broker because those pesky brokers charge 5, 6, 7%. Well, what they often will do is they'll tie it up at a good price and then they'll build in service fees or other fees that you missed up front. And in the end, you might end up paying a higher amount in fees than you would have if you just had gone with a traditional broker, and you would have ultimately probably also netted a higher price. And then finally, when you're dealing with people who are all cash buyers looking for a quick sale off market, you have to be aware that there's a much higher rate of scam artists, people trying to do unsavory things to you and take advantage of you. So in general, you just need to be very much on guard. If you were thinking of selling your house for cash and you're not sure what to do, I'm happy to hop on a free initial consultation call. Just give me a call at 617-833-7457. I've helped many sellers in the area navigate these scenarios and ensure a great outcome. Or you can alternatively just shoot me an email, sage, S-A-G-E, @cambridgesage.com.